So what's the difference between injecting here, here, and here? Each one of these injection points are commonly injected around the world while attempting to reduce lateral canthal lines or smile lines, and each one of them will actually produce different results. So I've chosen these points specifically to illustrate the anatomy that lies underneath and how the millimeters really matter when injecting botulinum toxins. So let's have a look at the first injection point, quite close to the eyebrow. If we translate this injection point here over to the anatomical model, you'll see that it's actually affecting the frontalis muscle right where the lateral eyebrow is lifted. This is a critical area not to treat in most people because the lateral eyebrow is so sensitive to drops. If you think about the shape of your face, a small drop or a small change in eyebrow movement laterally is very obvious because you've got the other side to compare to. You'll either get asymmetry if one side is dropped or it makes both sides look tired. It's quite rare that we want to lower someone's eyebrows, and that injection point is perfectly designed to lower an eyebrow and not to affect the lateral canthal lines because it's completely missed Orbicularis oculi. If we go down to the next point, this is now at the tail of the eyebrow. This injection is quite different. This one actually is in the bulk of Orbicularis oculi muscle, and this one is correctly placed, so long as you inject superficially, to release some of the downward pull from the orbicularis oculi, right where it's pulling on the eyebrow. And this is why it is a subtle way of lifting the eyebrow with a small dose of botulinum toxin, usually 4 units. So this injection should actually cause a desired effect so long as we inject at the right depth and don't go too deep. If you were to go too deep, the next closest structure you'd want to avoid might be the lacrimal gland, but it is behind the bone, so it's not super likely that that would be affected. The next injection point down, we're still in the same line of the other injections, and you might think therefore that it is safer. But actually, because of the anatomy and how the muscle actually arcs away from the eye at this point, we are now actually missing the bulk of the orbicularis oculi. So if you have a look at this muscle, the bulk of the muscle is actually lateral to that injection point. We're now too medial to the eye, and this is now placing us very close to another potential muscle that we don't want to treat, which is the lateral rectus muscle. If you get botulinum toxin into the muscle that causes the eye to look away from the midline, to look laterally, then you get double vision when the patient looks in that direction. And that's because that muscle is weakened by botulinum toxin. So this injection point is too close to the orbital rim. And what we need to do is inject more laterally to keep it safe. So I hope that makes it clear. There are 3 similar injection points. One causes a brow drop, one causes an eyebrow lift, and the other one causes a lateral rectus palsy if you inject enough at the right depth. So if you'd like to see more of these style of videos, let me know in the comments and I will go over another area of the face. Also, don't forget to sign up to the waiting list for my new movement. If you're interested in learning anatomy and botulinum toxin injections in extraordinary 3D detail, then that's the place to do it. It's not open yet, but you can join the waiting list.